Hey, Stuart here with another edition of Backpacking Tips, Tricks, Hacks, Facts, and Etiquette. On today's episode, how to survive a bear attack. First thing I have to say, as always, your personal safety in the backcountry is yours alone. Listen to videos like this, but then go online and do your own research. Look at the links I'll provide below. These will give you, confidence that what I'm telling you is it's the way it is right now, with one exception. And I mentioned in the last video there might be a little bit of a controversy if you live in Canada. Well, if you do go online and Google up how to handle a bear attack, one of the first hits that's going to come up in Google if you're in Canada is from Parks Canada. I'm going to flash it up here where it says, you always play dead in a defensive bear attack. How do you know if it's defensive? It says if it's not defensive and it's predatory, you have to fight back. But what are you going to do? Ask the bear? Like, how are you feeling today, bear? What's this all about? What are we getting into here? You have no way of knowing except monitoring some of the behavior of the bear. But in any case, they don't differentiate between bears. And that's where the controversy lies. If it's black, fight back, period. That is the way it is. Everybody I know says the same thing. It's an old saying. If it's black, fight back. Why? Because the black bear is not there to be defensive. It's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. The assumption is it's predatory. You don't believe me? Look at the links below. Steven Herrero, author of Bear Attacks, Causes and Avoidance, the Bible of Bear Behavior, says the same thing. Always fight back with a black bear. The National Park Service of the United States, the National Forest Service of the United States, and the Interagency Grizzly Bear Committee, they all say if it's a black bear, you fight back, and that's exactly what you do. Hopefully, you've deployed your bear spray and it works. But if it doesn't work, and of course, if you haven't practiced with bear spray, the first chance you're out there using it is with a bear attack, it may not work. So what do you do with a black bear? You fight back immediately. Use your trekking poles, use rocks, use sticks, use your fists. If you have a knife, fight back with a black bear every single time. Any other advice is incorrect. Well, what about a grizzly bear? The old saying is, if it's brown, lie down, but not in color. Remember, in the last video, I said it's kind of important early on in a bear encounter for you to understand what kind of bear you're dealing with. And this is why. If it's a black bear, you fight back immediately. If it's a grizzly bear, you don't. What do? You play dead. And here's how you play dead properly. You take your hands like this, you put them behind your head like this, and you lay on the ground face down. You have your backpack on. Please tell me you have your backpack on, because a loaded backpack is going to offer you a lot of protection in this attack. The bear's probably going to go after the backpack first because it's right there on top of you. In addition to doing this, you're going to spread your legs a little bit. Why? Why are we laying down like this and spreading our legs and doing this? You're trying to prevent what I call the inadvertent roll, meaning the bear's banging around at you and making its point. You don't want to get flipped over by accident and then expose all of your vulnerable parts. I say inadvertent for a reason. If a big grizzly bear really wants to roll you, you're probably getting rolled. This is to prevent that inadvertent roll during the attack, where it's probably focusing on your backpack for the most part. So what do? How long do you lay there? This is difficult to say. You're going to have to kind of gauge it yourself. Typically, these types of attacks from grizzly bears are defensive. You've come upon a sow and her cubs. You've come upon a bear with a kill. And really what they're doing is making a point. Eventually, hopefully, in a defensive attack, the bear is going to leave the area. But you have to lay there for a long time once it's left the area to make sure it's not watching you, because it could be. There's a well-documented case of a man who got attacked by a sow with cubs. He got up after thinking she had left the area, and he was trying to get back to his car because he was injured. She came at him again and attacked him again, but he survived. So that goes to show you, you can survive a grizzly bear attack if it's defensive, if you play dead like this with your legs spread and lay perfectly still until you're sure it's left the area. One piece of advice I do not want you to take online that I've seen in some of the websites that pretend to be bear experts, they tell you to go into the fetal position. No. Why would you go in the fetal position? First of all, okay, let me just put it to you this way. If you go in the fetal position with a grizzly bear attack, you've made yourself basically a bear beach ball. And it's going to, your center of gravity is way too high. It's going to be able to bat you all around the place. You want to get low on your belly, cover your neck for protection, lock your hands, try to prevent the roll, and wait it out. If after I don't know. This is tough, right? I'm going to say if after a minute or two the bear's going at you, I think you're going to have to make the call and fight back, because now this may have turned from a defensive attack in your mind to something more sinister, predatory, potentially. Predatory attacks by bears are, well, I mean, they're exceedingly rare. They typically don't see humans as food. But in this case now, at the 2-minute mark, you're going to have to fight back. Same with a black bear. The same type of fight with a black bear. Trekking poles, I mean, bear spray if you still got some, because now it's close enough, maybe you can hit it. A knife, rocks, sticks. And you're going to, on both types of attacks, when you fight back, you're going to focus on the bear's face. This is where it's most sensitive, and that's where you kind of pound it. With a black bear, you know, what's the old saying? Black bears are like bullies. Once they figure out they can't really get their way with you, they're probably going to toddle off. That's the hope. Grizzly bear, you're hoping it's a defensive attack where you play dead and then it leaves the area and then you can get out. Your plans have changed. You're probably going back to your car very injured. If you're far from the trailhead, you're probably pressing the button. That's it. None of these situations are good. In the other videos where I've talked about bears, you know, the whole idea is to avoid the encounter completely and then to handle an encounter appropriately. In most cases, it will never lead to this type of situation. But when it does, you have to know what type of bear you're dealing with, and you have to know how to react. If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lie down. Brown meaning grizzly, not the color of the bear, because the color doesn't matter. Learn to identify your bears. Here's a little flash this up for you. It's kind of easy to tell, especially when you've had lots of experience in the backcountry. And I will reach out to Parks Canada a second time and ask them for their thinking on their bear safety page, because even down further, it says if a bear comes into your camp, perhaps climb a tree. No. You don't climb a tree with a bear. I mean, in this scenario, if you try to climb a tree, you're just going to take the attack into the tree, as opposed to having it on the ground where you have some defensive capabilities. But we're going to address that in the next video. The next video will be the last of the bear-themed videos in our Learn to Backpack series. And I'm going to talk about what to do if a bear comes into your camp after your setup, whether it's afternoon, evening, or overnight. That'll be our, oh, it's getting bright time. There we go. Hi, how are you? That'll be in our next video of, well, backpacking tips, tricks, hacks, facts, and etiquette. Know how to handle a bear attack. Go down below, click the links, read for yourself. Don't ever play dead with a black bear. See you next time.